right into the next problem. I like to solve problems by finding a headline from the newspapers or the news websites. We show you the headline, we see what the problem is. Here's a news headline that I spotted. It came out earlier today. It's about Tilly Ramsey, comedian abused over namesake's chubby remark, on the BBC news website. Interesting. Which comedian would this be? Interesting.
Who is that young man?
Who is that? Yeah.
How old is that photo?
What? It's not. What? A little bit, yeah. But same jacket, I think, by the looks of things. But so let's go back to the start of this story. What's it all about? If you've not heard any about it, even though I've been waffling about it a lot, and all of my newspaper columns this week are very much about this. It all started with when we were filming the episode of Late Night MASH. I checked my phone and this story comes out saying, Strictly's Tilly Ramsey calls out LBC host after she's branded chubby live on air. And I thought, uh-oh. That means, because we've got the same name, he's Steve Allen, I'm Stephen Allen, but that's not enough of a difference. I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get ahead of this. I'll screenshot this story, make it the thing on my Twitter so that if someone sees it, thinks it's me, looks at Twitter, and then we'll see that story and I'll be like, look, at the top, great, time to get some hate on Twitter meant for someone else. They'll work it out and then be like, it's not Steve. And I thought, pretty clever. We finished filming that episode. Day later, I'm out with the missus, we're having a nice meal, and someone on Facebook sends me a message saying, is this you? And there was a story on Unilad that had a picture of me. And calls grow to fire LBC presenter who body shamed Tilly Ramsey. There I am looking all smug about the body shaming that I've been doing. Difficult. So I started, I didn't want to get told off using my phone too much during dinner, but sending messages like, could you remove this? And they didn't reply to any. So I then tweeted it saying like, this is not me, could you get it done?
Yeah.
And already, so they posted that on their website and comments started happening and they posted it on their Facebook and there were some comments. Let's go through some of the comments that I read whilst there was a picture of my face on their Facebook. I mean, he's hardly Brad Pitt, is he? Fair enough, true. Steve Allen, a face only a mother could love. No wonder he's a radio presenter. Kind of hurts, but all right, yeah, tune in on Time FM. Why is it always the middle-aged, fossilizing, crusty people that have something to say? I suppose I am middle-aged, whereas the LBC guy is 67, so he's older than that. Audacity, even talking about people's appearance when he's a state. He looks like a thumb. Fucking I do not look like a thumb. 3 likes. He got a lot of those, yeah. I do not look like a thumb. Can we check this with the graphics people? Do I look like a thumb? I mean, all right, fair play. That one, I can see there's certain thumb-like resemblance in what they're doing there. But so I've never really been that harsh. I certainly don't like to do body-shaming style jokes. And look, I am also scared about saying that because I'm sure you could find a joke I've done in the past that's tasteless. But, we're comedians. We might have pushed the boundaries, but I certainly don't sit around going, that person on TV's fat. Yeah. So it was really bizarre that I've not really done those kind of jokes. And look, for everyone who said that I'm too bald, fat and ugly to make those comments, you're right. And that's partly why I didn't make those comments. That's worth bearing in mind. I never said those things, but I didn't do the crime, but I got an awful lot of the time sitting there just being told by people. Plus I got emails. Here's one, screenshot. How dare you make those horrible and hurtful comments about a very young girl? Are you fixated and jealous she has a world-renowned father? I'm not fixated, but yes, of course I'm jealous. She has a world-renowned father. You have the ability via your work to affect the lives and influence many people. Sadly, you choose not to be just negative, but downright offensive. Now do something decent for once in your life and resign from LBC. I will never again tune into anything involving you. Well, look, the good news is LBC will not let me in the building. So that should cheer you up, although you won't be watching this because you'll never again tune into anything that I do, even though it wasn't me that made those comments. It's been a weird time. And then eventually we managed to get a message. And it wasn't just that website. I took a screenshot of the Unilad one. The Sun website did it, and we're still trying to work out which other websites took the photo from this library that had me incorrectly labelled in there. So there's been a lot of websites that have done it, but they did correct it. Unilad in their to be fair, in their credits. And you know what? That's the picture of him. And even I'm willing to admit, it is not a million miles away, is it? It's, yeah, I see the point. It's like It's like he came back from the future to warn me to not do jokes about people on Strictly. Yeah, it's not great. And even on the BBC website, the coverage I was reading today about this story, where they said Stephen Allen from Nottinghamshire said people called him bald, fat and ugly because of his namesake. And then they've kind of used a picture that proves it right.
It might look handsome.
No, but look, that picture, whilst it might be quite a few years ago now, like 4 or 5 years ago, I think I've got more of a chin these days. What's going on there?
You hadn't learned the beard trick yet.
Or the pushing your tongue to the top of your mouth when they're taking a photo. I was told that one. Whereas that one just looks like I'm halfway through a... So that was...
was that one for Kent, that photo?
That was a BBC publicity shot, yeah, which they used on their own flipping website, dobbing me right in. Look at that ugly face. So look, that's the situation. And that's what I learned from this, because all of these people will spend a lot of time saying things like, be nice, you should be nice to people. As soon as they thought I was a transgressor, they didn't think about being nice. They just went in with the opposite of nice. And look, hashtag be nice is easy when you're being nice to someone that you want to be nice to. The only challenge in this world is to try and be nice when you think you don't have to. When you could give yourself permission to be the worst version of yourself, reining it in is the only virtue worth having. And it turns out not a lot of people online have that. As soon as they thought it was me making those comments, they got stuck right in. So maybe if someone says a bad thing, criticize them for what they've said. And that way you definitely can't accidentally end up having a weekend of calling the wrong person ugly, which is pretty much the thing that you're bothered about. The crime that you're upset about is the crime that you've just sat around and done for a while. So we were talking about what I could do to get it sorted. I don't want to be confused with that, Steve Allen. Did I need to think about changing my name? I've certainly realised, because we look too similar, now that I don't have to shave because of Late Night MASH, I'm going to grow the beard. And previously on this show, we've grown the beard out. There's a picture of me from when...
Oh, my God.
From when I grew a beard during lockdown. Look at that. He certainly does not look like LBC Steve Allen. So those are the days. So I'm going to develop that beard again so that I can't be confused with the other Steve Allen. And we were talking about this on radio, and people were saying if I grow a big enough beard, I'll look like a sailor. Sometimes it grows enough and it's grayer than it used to be. It looks like I should be in Great Yarmouth, being on and off the trawlers. I got that kind of vibe. And then I thought, wait a minute. That means if I grow a beard, I should be doing that trend that was on TikTok of singing sea shanties to explain the story, the mission that I went through. And it would be a sea shanty, let's call it a Steve shanty, that goes like this. There once was a man, his name was Steve, but he was mean and not like me. He said mean things of a young Ramsay, but they all use my picture. Oh dear, it's what I feared. I'll hide my face and grow a beard. It might seem right weird, but I'll change my name to Susan. Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.